Welcome to the Ty and Dan Show. I'm Tyler Evans, alongside, of course, my good friend Danny Forbes. And Danny, this week we have a couple guests on the show. Why don't you introduce them for us?
Well, we have a good friend of mine, Cole Ryan from Perth, Ontario. Cole, it's great to have you join us.
What's happening? Good to be here. Thanks, boys.
And we have Mitchell Hurtubise, my good friend from Aurelia.
Can't believe I got led on to this, but let's do it.
All right, boys. We're going to talk about some hockey today because hockey season is in full swing. Let's talk a little ODR. Cole, have you been ripping on the rink yet this year?
Yeah, safe to say that's in full swing. Currently out here right now. Got a little rink here in the loft of our barn.
Recently, you kind of became famous for your barn. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, honestly, I was just actually throwing out a tweet to Grinelli there from Spit and Chicklets. Told him to throw an ODR, a backyard rink contest up. And I basically just sent a picture and told him here was his first entry type thing. And next thing you know, the next day, Hockey Canada actually shared that. And then the NHL sent me a tweet, asked if they could share it as well. So yeah, no, it's pretty sweet. After years of sending pictures out, finally, out of the blue, it took off, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that rink there behind you. How long have you been doing that?
Probably at least 15 years now, probably. My dad started it. He did the majority of it, and then essentially, once I was old enough, I started to take it on myself. But
and it's actually in like the upstairs of a barn.
Yeah, I can actually somewhat show you here. You might be able to see just outside. But yeah, it's the ladder.
That's unreal.
Yeah.
Right on. And you can have like full games on there. Like it's good. Like it's gonna hold you.
Oh yeah. I mean, everybody always talks about whether or not it can hold the ice up here, but essentially these lofts were made to hold like thousands of bales of hay, so those are a heck of a lot heavier, than a little bit of ice.
I've been thankful to get out to play some ODR this year as well. A guy that I met here in Aurelia that owns an electrical company. He, right here in Aurelia right now, I don't know about you guys there in Perth, but you can't go actually skate like at a park, and all the arenas are closed because of COVID. So this dude made like an Olympic-size hockey rink in his backyard, and he's just opened it up to the public. He has a skate shack in there, and it's got a wood stove, so you just go in there, and it's toasty. You can have some beers with the boys, and then head out on this rink. It's unbelievable, and it's crazy that he's doing this. Just saying, yeah, if anyone wants to come into my backyard, pop on by, bring some beers, and enjoy it.
No way, that's mint.
Pretty legendary.
Like, you just contact them in advance and tell them, I'm booking, 6 o'clock on Saturday, and I'm having 8 guys come out. Like, is that available, kind of thing?
Yeah, exactly. And he's totally cool with it. It's unbelievable.
That's awesome.
That's sick.
That's just what the community needs.
Big time.
Especially in a time like this with a pandemic. Not just sports has been affected, but everybody's lives have been affected, I'm sure. If you're into arts or music or whatever you're into, you've been affected in some way, and you need to get out there, have some fun. So for this guy to sacrifice his time and to sacrifice his land and let people use it, that's pretty selfless, and that's awesome of him.
Yeah, it's huge, especially as I said, this year the arenas are closed. There is no minor hockey. So for him to just open up his backyard to these kids who have lost a year of hockey, it's unbelievable. So there isn't a lot to do right now with the pandemic. We're all stuck inside, so I'm sure we've all been watching a lot of hockey. Mitchell, what are your first impressions so far of the NHL season?
56 games is the perfect amount of time for the Leafs to do well before the late March, early April choke job.
Yeah, I like this guy.
To be honest with you, it's hard to tell. A lot of teams have the ability to score and put up points, but when the shutdown, needs to come, there's stuff that happened this year. I don't want to like get into it as a Bruins fan. Seeing Chara leave and I watched some of the Islanders game last night, and it just they could have used a presence in front of the net. They won the game on a chippy goal, but there's defense is not a surplus, and it never has been. But I find this year teams are piling on goals. Like Montreal, I think it was like before the time they played the Leafs on Wednesday, they were averaging like 4 goals a game.
Yeah.
So, but that's maybe just to say something about the North Division, it being a little bit weaker defensively as a whole. But my take from this year is that honestly, it's going to be really cool come playoff time because we're going to get some different matchups than we've had in the past.
That's true. We could have 2 Eastern teams meet in the finals.
Yeah, that's something that worries me though. Honestly, is just the fact that I don't know if you guys find too, the conferences they're so different this year. Like, yep. But I mean, every team in each conference, you know what I mean, is so similar at the same time. So I have a feeling, whatever teams come out of the North, like, they're gonna face some tough matchups come the first couple games in the playoffs.
Yeah,
like the Leafs look absolutely dominant right now, and I think they're going to continue.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's because, like they say, right, the weak defense in the North Division right now. I think
you
that's
worry
really
about them
showing.
Getting too complacent with that, and
exactly,
then next thing you know, you're in a 7-game series with a team like Philly or Boston or who you name it.
No, that's just it.
Can you make that next jump? But can you not? Maybe because you've been playing in North Division against Edmonton.
That's just it. Like, can you change your game basically on the fly, sort of thing, right?
Exactly.
But we'll see.
So this year, when the Leafs make the playoffs, the first round they will face another team from the North Division. So this year, they're probably going to get over that first round playoff hump where they always struggle to get by the first round. I mean, the last few years. But could you imagine if they coast through this North Division, go to the playoffs, end up facing Calgary, and they still lose in the first round? If that scenario were to play out, the front office gone, right? Shanahan, Dubas, like they're tearing that thing apart.
And it's not just Calgary though.
No, I just mean whatever team they end up playing in that playoff.
No, I see that, but that, in all honesty, that would have to be a significant breakdown.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, for us to see something like that. Like,
so
I feel like that's something that they wouldn't even know what to do until they came across.
So based on this conversation,
it'd be so unexpected.
We're pretty much saying we can't put too much stock into the Leafs right now because of that North Division. But what would it take for this season, at the end of it, for you to walk out of the season and go, the Leafs look like a Stanley Cup contender, they've gotten past that hump? What would it take for them to beat a team from another division, semifinals, Stanley Cup? What are we saying?
Okay, time out. Let's just talk about them winning a playoff series first.
Yeah, but if they beat a North... So if they beat a team from the North in the playoffs and then they go face a Philly or a Boston, they lose in the second round, isn't that still kind of the same as losing in the first round in a normal year?
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that.
You know, I guess second is the first loser. People say that if you ain't first, you're last, right?
Ricky Bobby.
No, I think anything short, honestly, of a Stanley Cup final appearance would be a disappointment for them at this point.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think you get to the semifinals and you push it to at least a game 6. You lose to a good team. That's it's a step up from what we've seen. It's so hard to win the cup. We can't. Yeah. The Leafs look good, but we have to be somewhat realistic about the fact that there's a lot of other really good teams out there too.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, let's talk about, obviously we're in February here, so it's still very early, but let's talk about our potential Stanley Cup final matchups. Cole, if you had to put money on it today, who would you put in the Stanley Cup final?
Oh, I don't know. I'm going to have to go with the Leafs. It's just anything different wouldn't be possible. Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't see who else I'd put.
Well, you gotta pick someone from the other side.
I know, but what are you guys saying at this point? Like, I don't see one team right now that's going.
They haven't played a lot of games, but I think we could say Colorado is a team that could end up on the other side of that bracket.
Guys, yeah, Florida has one
contender for sure.
Loss.
What's your point about Florida?
They have one regulation
loss. Yeah, but
loss.
they'd be in the same division as the Leafs, would they not?
And this year, like a regular year, yeah, they would.
But this year, you can have 2 East teams end up in the finals.
Right.
The brackets
potentially you could be playing against Tampa Bay in the finals.
Yes. It could be Leafs Boston. Imagine that.
That changes the game.
Yeah.
Like, that's why it's a tough year to really judge by the same standards you always would, just because.
Yeah, because you can't pick 2 teams, because you don't know who's going to get to where.
Someone's going to get a hot goalie, or just go on a big run. Who knows? Edmonton is right there right now. They have the 2 leading point scorers in the whole entire league. They could get a trade, shore up the defensive side a little bit, and go on a big run. Unlikely from what we've seen from them, but it's just such a difference with the divisions being the way they are.
Yeah,
it's hard to call, and the standings right now are kind of weird to look at too, with teams playing so many more games than other teams have.
Yeah,
probably with COVID stuff going on, so it's a little early, but yeah.
So Danny, who would you put in the finals at this point?
Like, Cole's right. The Leafs look great. So yeah, I think it's not out of the realm of the possibility that the Leafs do make the Stanley Cup final this year, but I think it's crazy to count out Tampa, all those teams that have been good for so long. Tampa, Boston. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, a Boston-Toronto Stanley Cup final, no, that'd be something.
Is that your pick, Cole?
The ratings that would do.
Poof. Honestly, if I could pick, if that's the way that it worked out, 100%, yeah, I'd take those 2.
All right,
if they didn't see each other till the final, and yeah, 100%.
What are you taking, Danny?
Tampa going to the final.
Tampa, Toronto.
The Leafs. Yep.
Mitchell.
I got a bias because I'm a Bruins fan. I don't think they got what it takes to win the cup. Maybe make it to the finals. Personally, I don't think so. I'm going to go off the board a bit. I don't know why I got such a hard-on for them, and I hope my father never hears this.
Oh, no.
Or sees this, but I'm going to say the Montreal Canadiens. I don't know, something about that goalie duo and something about the kids they got going through that organization. They got some guys who don't know how to win, just like Toronto does. Because Thornton's never won shit. Neither has Spezza. Their kids haven't won a playoff series.
Yeah.
They haven't won anything since Morgan Riley was a rookie.
And the other thing about Montreal is they're rumored to be in the mix to trade potentially for Sid the Kid. Could you imagine that?
I'm seeing
I see him going to Colorado.
Colorado?
I was going to say either the Avalanche or just because they've been getting good goaltending too, I was going to say the Golden Knights.
Yeah, but Montreal, that's his hometown team, right? I mean, give up Suzuki and some draft picks? You're talking about one of the best hockey players in the world of all time. I think I'd give up Suzuki and a few picks for that.
Could you imagine Crosby going there? People would lose their mind.
Well, I mean, the Leafs could shore up their second line center. He could be a great second line.
Yeah, the Leafs have negative $26 million in cap space?
They got no money. They don't have money for that.
We could trade our first line.
Yeah. trade Matthews, maybe.
We'll give you Marner, Tavares, and Nylander.
Yeah.
For 35-year-old Sid.
So in the finals, I'll take Colorado and Philadelphia.
Oof.
Philly, kind of hot.
It might be just because I've been playing a lot of NHL 99 on the N64, and those are 2 good 90s teams to pick from. All right, let's move on to our next segment here, a game that I call Guess Who. So in my household, I have every McFarlane NHL action figure pretty much ever made from season to season. So this game is going to be my lovely girlfriend's going to bring over an action figure. I'm going to put them on my head. I'm going to be blindfolded. And without telling me the player, you guys got to give me clues and see if I can figure this out.
Getting old.
Oh, yeah.
He was part of the 2000 Olympic gold medal, the winning goal there.
2002?
Big time.
2010.
Sidney
2010.
Crosby.
No, he was part of it.
Oh,
Very
okay.
big part of it. But
It's
he
a
did-
Ginla,
Oh, man.
right?
Yeah, but come on. You
Iggy!
gotta let us all. It was Iggy. I had 30 goals for the Bruins lined up, bud. Oh, my God.
Danny.
He he loved to get the ice girls going during the intermission.
That's your hint, Cole? Oh, I know who this is. All right. Mitchell?
You'll know who I'm talking about if you've ever seen Don Cherry's Rock'em Sock'em, bud.
Pretty sure he got kicked off of Hockey Night in Canada or NBC or something for like
NBC, I believe.
obscene comments.
It's Jeremy Roenick.
Yeah.
All right.
American legend, bud.
All-time American scorers of all ever. Oh my God.
Absolutely.
Let's just say you don't want to get in this guy's trolley tracks.
Oh, bud, get off the tracks, bud.
Mitchell?
Korea go night-night.
Dirtiest player in NHL history.
Scott Stevens.
Absolutely. All Korea still has nightmares.
Oh, is that my boy? Yeah, it is.
This is a Leaf.
He's the
What
the Swedish
hell?
Maple Leaf All-Star, bud.
A Leafs All-Star?
Swedish Maple Leaf All-Star.
Oh, okay. Danny?
Vancouver Canucks, but it just doesn't look right.
It's
Nope.
Matt Sundin.
Yay!
Beautiful.
All
All right. Well, thanks for joining me today, boys. It was fun.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, Cole, you can sign off because I know your balls are officially froze to
I
your
can
side of
go
your
inside
leg.
now. Thanks,
But
bud.
thanks for
Always
joining
a
us.
blast, boys. It's always a blast.
Danny, you want to
Thanks
do a
for
crack
having
a can quick?
Yeah, I can grab a can. Who we cracking a can to?
Mitchell, so every week we do crack a can to somebody or something that we want to give a toast to. Is there anything off the top of your head you would like to toast to?
Oh my
I'm so
God.
thirsty that I have to crack a can and before I crack the can. But I'll grab another
My can is already cracked, and I'd like to give a toast to the sun coming up a little bit earlier in the mornings.
Yep.
Even though it's cold and it's shitty outside, the sun is coming up a little bit earlier every day, and that means we're one day closer to baseball being back.
Spring
So
training, couple more weeks, right?
I'll crack a can to that anytime.